Hello and welcome back to our channel. I hope you're having a blessed day. If you are new here, welcome, and I hope you will enjoy our content. Hit the like and subscribe button to help us out. We would highly appreciate that. And to all of our subscribers, welcome back. In today's video, we will cover another interesting topic, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Have you ever wondered if you are an empath? I heard the term empath so many times before. I even thought I might be one. I always knew I was fiercely empathetic, but I figured there needed to be something extra to make an empath, like I needed to possess some sort of magical powers. Probably because empaths are often seen as having psychic abilities, or at the very least, strong intuition that supports them in ethereal ways. But it's all about where you are in your journey to know yourself. We all have intuition. We all have special gifts. Committing to exploring and learning about your empathetic nature is the only way you will come to notice these nuances or natural abilities that you have within. Have a hunch that you might be one. See if you relate to these signs if you're an empath. You are highly sensitive. Perhaps you have spent most of your life being called too sensitive and wonder what that really means, or maybe you have related to the term highly sensitive person ever since you first heard it. No matter how you label it or how others try to label you, hypersensitivity is one sign of being an empath. So much of being an empath correlates with being a highly sensitive person, but it takes more than that to be an actual empath. Personally, I always knew that I was really sensitive to other people's moods and energies, sometimes even absorbing their emotions, but I didn't realize that other people are one of the things I'm hypersensitive to. Each of the personality traits of empathy and sensitivity have their own levels and nuances, but they are also each characteristics of one another. You may be the opposite. You may have always known that you are highly empathetic, but soon realize that you are sensitive in so many other ways. The news overwhelm you. On a much deeper level than most or anyone you know, we have had a very tumultuous past few years as a society, and well, lots of people are avoiding the news these days. But if you look back to your childhood and remember being disturbed by certain news, stories, or events, even when they didn't affect or relate to you at all, this could be because you are extremely empathetic. All humans have the ability to empathize, but we empaths have a way of absorbing another's experience into ourselves. On the flip side, heartwarming and inspirational stories seem to affect us more deeply as well. When someone else feels joy, we have the ability to feel it too. Knowing how news stories affect you is a big sign of whether you are an empath, whether the story is painful or positive. You have trouble switching from solo to group activities. I've only recently began to understand this part of me. As an introvert and sensitive person, I struggle to go from being alone to socializing. I might have a day to myself, and even if I miss my partner, I still may feel overwhelmed when he comes home and is ready to chat and catch up. It's not that I don't want to see him, it's just a transition. It took a while to realize that this wasn't just because I'm an introvert and like being alone. Again, I may be excited for the upcoming social reunion, yet I struggle with the transition. More than that, it's because this new energy has come into my presence and it's easy to absorb into my own, which is just very different. I think this is one reason why I have never considered myself a morning person. It's not that I hate mornings, I do prefer sleeping, but it's transitioning from the isolated personal unconscious time to going out and interacting with the world. You often question society and why they don't think or feel all the things you do. Yes, all people have things they are passionate about, but empaths feel this is not just for certain issues, but it seems all the issues. There is this universal feeling of empathy that sometimes feel like it cannot be contained. Carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders is the best way I can describe it. You sometimes feel like not only you are the only one to notice or tune into the injustices of society, but feel a strong responsibility to do something about it. Don't get me wrong, it's good to question the status quo, and staying informed helps us grow, but it can definitely be overwhelming. You feel emotions in your body. If you practice mindfulness or are familiar with the concept of nervous system regulation and self-healing, you know that you don't have to be an empath to physically feel your emotions in your body. Emotions are stored in the body no matter your personality. You just have to be very self-aware to notice them. But this goes a step further with empaths, in that we soak up emotions so automatically that we can feel those energies in others within our own bodies. The term, "I feel your pain," is real. For example, a friend might confide in you about anger or sadness they are having, and even though you have nothing to do with it and are simply there to lend an ear, you immediately tense up, feel tightness in your chest, etc. As mentioned above, seeing the news can even at times make you feel physically ill. This is all part of being highly empathetic. Luckily, you can learn to filter out some of these energies, but it takes practice and self-care. Their ability to discern what others are feeling goes beyond empathy, which is defined simply as the ability to understand the feelings of others. Instead, being an empath extends to actually taking those feelings on. Science is divided on whether or not true empaths or people who can tap into and take on the emotions of those around them actually exist, though plenty of people claim to have such abilities. We know that researchers have discovered what they've dubbed mirror neurons in the brain, which may help us mirror the emotions of those we come in contact with. And it appears some people may have more mirror neurons than others, suggesting that empaths may exist. The news overwhelm you. On a much deeper level than most or anyone you know, we have had a very tumultuous past few years as a society, and well, lots of people are avoiding the news these days. But if you look back to your childhood and remember being disturbed by certain news, stories, or events, even when they didn't affect or relate to you at all, this could be because you are extremely empathetic. All humans have the ability to empathize, but we empaths have a way of absorbing another's experience into ourselves. On the flip side, heartwarming and inspirational stories seem to affect us more deeply as well. When someone else feels joy, we have the ability to feel it too. Knowing how news stories affect you is a big sign of whether you are an empath, whether the story is painful or positive. That was today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you learned something interesting. Make sure to check out other videos on our channel, hit the like button and subscribe to keep the track of new content we post. To learn more about the subject we talked about today, check out these websites. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video.